All right, in her travels in RWL, Georgia Washington, the Yankee Rose has met Liberty Belle Danielle Heathcote and Brooklyn Von Braun, and tonight for the first time, she'll face Patriotic Pam Parsons. And here's the kicker, with both Liberty Belle Danielle and Brooklyn Von Braun at ringside.
Hey, that's great. We've never seen them together before. This is going to be awesome.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Approaching the ring and accompanied by Brooklyn Von Braun and Liberty Belle Danielle Heathcote, from Huntington Beach, California, Patriotic Pam Parsons.
Okay, so they're not officially a tag team or a faction or whatever you want to call it, but Danielle and Brooklyn are here with Pam Parsons in solidarity against Georgia Washington, who they all see as being, well, a bad representation of America. I guess I can see where they're coming from. One of these things is definitely not like the others, and that makes Georgia Washington the odd woman out.
However, Pam Parsons, Brooklyn Von Braun, well, the athleticism of Patriotic Pam Parsons, and she and Brooklyn Von Braun and Liberty Belle Danielle Heathcote are at least all cordial friends, and they all have the common dislike of Miss Georgia Washington, the Yankee Rose.
Well, Georgia's not the same. She's got this attitude that the other three don't have. They don't see things the same way, you know?
Man, Georgia's entrance. You either love it, or you hate it, or you love to hate it. Choices, so many choices.
And her opponent from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, she is, the Yankee Rose, Miss Georgia Washington.
Boy, she is some piece of work, isn't she? And I don't mean that in a favorable way.
Oh, indeed, Georgia Washington, extremely unpopular as far as the other all-American girls in RWL are concerned, but there are a contingent of fans that do enjoy the antics and the wrestling appearances of Miss Georgia Washington, the valet to Kurt Angle, and a pretty competent wrestler in her own right.
And with 6 pairs of eyes burning holes in her for the whole match, this should be interesting.
Well, it certainly is uncanny seeing the trio of Brooklyn Von Braun, Liberty Belle Danielle, and Pam Parsons all together in the same place. The referee rings the bell. Here we go. Georgia Washington with a wraparound DDT on Pam Parsons. Pam Parsons, look at this. Georgia Washington going for a quick cover, but not even one. Pam Parsons powering out easily. Whips Georgia into the far corner. Georgia counters. Whips Pam into the ropes. Pam Parsons, look at this, with a quick and speedy counter. Slams Georgia Washington's head into the canvas. Pam Parsons countered by Georgia Washington on a clothesline over the top rope and down onto the floor. Goes Patriotic Pam Parsons as Georgia Washington does a little showboating for the fans in the front row. Pam Parsons whips Georgia right into Brooklyn Von Braun. And Georgia Washington whips Pam Parsons towards the barricades near the far corner. Georgia countered by Pam Parsons. Look at this, Liberty Belle Danielle maintaining a safe distance, but watching as Pam Parsons goes in, moves it. Look at this, they're tussling again. Georgia Washington shoves her away. Pam Parsons and Georgia Washington exchanging shots. Georgia whipped towards the barricades. And look at this, Pam Parsons comes back out, breaks the count, starts it all over again, gets whipped into the ring steps for her troubles. Patriotic Pam Parsons perhaps making a mistake here. Georgia Washington moves in aggressively. Patriotic Pam Parsons counters with a nice arm drag. Parsons rounds up Georgia. Has her up for the vertical suplex. Long, stalling vertical suplex. Georgia trying to get out of it, but it's no use. Down she comes. Georgia Washington taking a long, hard ride. Pam Parsons whips Georgia into the ring steps and right towards Brooklyn Von Braun and Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote. And the All-American trio of ladies joining forces here in a show of moral support for Pam Parsons against the extremely unpopular Georgia Washington as the referee continues to count, and Pam Parsons really whipping up the crowd here. Whipped into the ring steps. Georgia Washington rounds her up again. Whips her right into Liberty Bell Danielle. Well, this one's gotten nasty. The two ladies on the outside maintaining a discreet distance and maintaining a respectful attitude. Pam Parsons slams Georgia head first into the canvas. Georgia Washington rounded double throat chop from Pam Parsons, but Georgia counters. Georgia Washington check this out, an abdominal stretch on Pam Parsons. Look at this, the look of concern on the faces of Brooklyn Von Braun and Liberty Bell Danielle. Hip toss from Pam Parsons. Georgia Washington fails to connect with her moves, but succeeds with a drop kick. Parsons on the mat and in trouble as Georgia Washington makes her way to the top rope. Here, knee right into the head of Pam Parsons. Georgia, perhaps getting greedy, going to try it again. No, she's turning it around. Look at this. Whoa! Well executed shooting star from Georgia Washington. Followed up with a stomp to the midsection. Pam Parsons failing to mount any offense for some time now. Georgia Washington with Parsons up over the shoulders. Flapjack's face first into the canvas. Georgia covers one. And only a one. Pam Parsons still spry and still kicking. Fails to connect with the drop kick. Brooklyn Von Braun urging Pam Parsons to get with the program. Georgia Washington beginning to mount some more offense here. A chop across the chest. But Pam Parsons quickly takes her down. Look at this, into a bow and arrow lock. Pam Parsons rounds her up. Georgia Washington counters on a vicious forearm. It takes Pam Parsons down to the canvas. Georgia Washington apparently believing she's got a great deal of support here. An amusing thought. Georgia with a kick to the midsection. Whips Parsons nearly into the referee. Parsons counters. Clothesline takes her down. Georgia Washington rounded up again. Look at this. Georgia Washington being cheered on by Brooklyn Von Braun and Liberty Bell Danielle. Sidewalk slam. And Parsons, that sidewalk slam took just about everything she had left. Georgia Washington moves in. What a slam across the face. And a neck whip slams her face first. Covers. 1, 2, 3. It is over.
Here's the time, 4 minutes, 14 seconds, and your winner, Miss Georgia Washington.
Oh, I know Pam is disappointed, but look at Brooklyn and Danielle. They are seething man. Georgia Washington continues to not win hearts and minds in the locker room. She was just ruthless towards Pam Parsons, and it was totally unnecessary. You know, Myron, if Georgia keeps up this kind of behavior, she's definitely going to make someone mad enough to come back looking for a receipt.
Of course. Actions have consequences, Kristen. And sooner or later, one or more people are going to get tired of her crap, and you know what's going to happen. It's going to blow up, and that's what's going to happen to Georgia Washington sooner or later. She'll get her comeuppance. You just wait and see.
And so Georgia Washington, the Yankee Rose, picks up a win over Patriotic Pam Parsons. And woohoo, hey, wait a minute now. Georgia Washington with a steel chair returning to the ring, going after Pam Parsons. I don't believe this is absolutely uncalled for. Menacing the referee as well. Well, now.